Hello YouTube, it's me again. I wanted to share my observations after watching the Olympics today. I didn't watch much of the Olympics. I watched the highlights on YouTube mostly, and it was obvious to me just by looking at the highlights that Black Americans, Hebrews, Israelites have made the United States this dominant power. If you look at the accomplishments of our athletes, it is clear, I think, to anyone in the world that we're special. You know, for a lot of you secular brothers who don't buy into we're the chosen people, I just encourage you to look at the Olympics. We are the chosen people, the people from this hemisphere, not just the Americans, but the Jamaicans. We lit it up. We lit it up. We are heads and tails above other people physically. And if you control your body to the extent that was demonstrated in the Olympics, then you understand that not only do you have a strong body, but you have a strong mind, intellect, discipline, and character in order to do what they've done. We are special people. I believe it's pretty obvious to anyone watching that we are special people. If you're from China, if you're from Spain, Serbia, Russia, the UK, France, Argentina, Korea, Iran, you look and you say the Black Americans are special. The black people from the Western Hemisphere are special. They're not like the rest of us. A long time ago, there was a guy by the name of Jimmy the Greek. He was a Las Vegas odds maker, and he did sports programs until one day he made a comment that slavery is what was responsible for the extraordinary performance of black athletes. And I scoff at that. It had nothing to do with it. Once upon a time, I used to think that maybe it did. But the fact of the matter is that there are enough good white athletes that if white people wanted to emulate the breeding practices of slave masters, they could easily do that if they wanted to be physically superior. But it's not something that they can control. It's not about their natural selection creating some group in the same proportions as exist in our group to compete with us head to head. They come up with great athletes. I'm not saying they don't, but not in the quantity that we do. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that if you look at the NBA, for every white player that's in the NBA, there is a black player that could be in the NBA replacing them, but wasn't given a chance because, after all, it's a business. They have to have diversity to appeal to a greater fan base, and that's what they do. But the fact of the matter is, although we are only 13% of the population, 6% of the male population in this country, we dominate all of the major sports. A lot of you probably don't know that black men started hockey. Ex-slaves from the United States started hockey in Canada. And in Canada, where the percentage of black people is far smaller than the percentage of black people here in the United States, they produce hockey players, black hockey players, that rise to star level on a fairly regular basis. So we're a special people. We have been restricted because of our special capabilities to athletics and music and some of the other performing arts, because they know we will do the same thing in business and the professions if allowed to. So our numbers are controlled. Our presence in corporate America is controlled because we are special people with special talents. What we lack is unanimity. We have women who don't have an appreciation for the racial genetics, and in fact, they promote a mythology about their supremacy over black men to mask their inferiority complex, when in fact they should embrace the supremacy of black males, attach themselves to that, support that, but they're unable to because of the brainwashing that's been done to them over several hundred years, but also very recent years with feminism. White women came to black women. We all know the story. It's been repeated numerous times. But they invited black women into the feminist movement. Black women were so overjoyed that white women came to them and thought to themselves, they see us as their sisters. And nothing could be further from the truth. What they saw was the powerful effect of the black power movement, the civil rights movement. And they knew that women got an opportunity to participate in that, some in leadership or middle level positions, and white women needed that skill set. So they invited black women in. Black women threw black men to the side, embraced and locked arms with white women to the detriment of the black community. We all know this. I'm not doing a video on that topic. What I want to say is we are special people. The Olympics should remind you that we're special people. We're God's chosen people. It's obvious. It's very, very obvious. If you're out there and you're on the fence about it, don't be. Just look at the highlights. Just look at what our people can do. Look at what our people can do. And look at other black people. See, you need to contrast us with other black people. Look at what the athletes from Africa have done. And it doesn't compare. And they have far more black people at their disposal than we do. We're roughly 42 million people in Africa. There are 700 million black people. Okay? So we're just a small fraction of people with melanated skin on this planet. But we stand out in everything we do. We are the leaders, the trendsetters for the whole world, not just black people, for the whole world. We're special people. Keep that in mind. And that's it. I just wanted to say that. I mean, that's my observation from the Olympics. I enjoyed it, and I hope the message got through to those of you earshot and the rest of the world. Thanks.